Good afternoon and welcome to another ironic introduction to another video. I just hit level 60. I have a crystal opening video coming up later. But right now, this is the last path of Act 4 that I need to complete. This will give me the last mastery point I need access to. And then I'm going to go through my mastery setup, kind of evaluate what I'm running, and decide how that's going to look. Feel free, I'll put a timestamp in the description below for when I get to just the masteries and skip through the fight here. But I wanted to include this last maestro fight just to kind of have one more maestro fight in the backlog. Oh, I didn't know that it was a third proc. That's annoying. One more maestro fight in the backlog just to have, because I've come a long way from this guy absolutely wrecking me. Is that unblockable or something? Whew, not a good time. Normally I don't try to block it. Normally I don't try to dodge it. I just hold block. But that time I was just feeling antsy and wanted to see if I could manage. Oh, I thought he would go aggressive. Old man Logan style punch. Alright. Let's hit him up with Symbiote Supreme. Hopefully close this out. Maestro is actually not that hard of a fight. I'm just making it look really hard. There we go. Alright, now we get to see the rewards of an Act 4 completion roll through. Oh, exploration. Act 4 exploration. Look at that. Oh, when I saw how much energy this would take, I thought I'd never get here. Whew, look at all those rewards. Feels good. I will have a crystal opening video that I'll probably post the day after this video. I'm hoping Tuesday. But for right now, let's dive into my mastery setup, kind of evaluate where I want to dump these last few points. Because I think I'm going to put them here. So this isn't optimal, and I know it's not optimal, but I've allocated these points based on wanting to save as much of my units as possible. Let me see if I think I have one carbonium core. So I'll put a timestamp in the description here, just to have for anybody who's looking at like what my mastery setup came out to be. Yeah, so I have one. So I could grab a second point in willpower if I wanted, which wouldn't be that bad of an idea. Just that the willpower scaling is just miserable, like really miserable. So this is what I'm gonna run for now. This is all the mastery points you can get in the game. So that is what, 34, 54, 59. So you can get 59 mastery points in the game. And as you can see here, my standard attack setup is really just maximized on damage. You know, and so like there's some damage that I'm missing here, right? Like, so courage is good if you are expecting to do a lot of reviving. And that means a lot, but not as much in versus. And so my mastery setup is really maximized for pushing damage out in versus. Courage is really good for progression. And like in the long run, I should really be dumping points there, because like I said, this isn't efficient. When you do mastery setups, you really want to think about what you're doing as a player. And the more I can get out of versus, even one less hit, 2 seconds on a fight, you know, is enough to maybe push through one more fight or maybe save me just a couple extra seconds. And I always like the idea of glass cannon just because I do feel like, you shouldn't be getting hit anyways, and that extra 5% health isn't really doing you a whole lot of good. I mean, it's doing you something, right? So it might be like one more hit, but I believe that for the most part, the way this scaling works is that 5% against like really hard opponents it probably isn't even saving you one hit. Like if you're dying, it might be like instantaneously to a special. So anytime you die to a special 3, that 5% health does nothing. Anytime you die in one combo, that extra 5% health does nothing. Anytime you die in 2 combos, that extra 1 hit does nothing. The only time that 1 extra hit really means something is when you're dying in 11 hits or 16 hits, etc. So for the most part, I just don't see it as valuable. But, that's just my opinion. Personally, I'd like to see myself moving towards Despair. I think 3 points in Deep Wounds is the efficiency there. But those are really expensive. And, I'm trying to get my units up for Cavaliers. So this is my build. 1 point pretty much all the way in the necessity to get to precision cruelty, and then I run max suicides over here, 1 point in recoil because you don't want to be penalized for that, and then 3 points in glass cannon. If I was only running the champions the like of Ghost, Captain Marvel, Corvus Glaive, the champions that like essentially special and then the fight is over, I think that having those extra points in recoil would be huge. Like, do not underestimate the value of an additional 30% damage on a special. Ghost, right? My Ghost does 30,000 damage, and an extra 30% on that on her special too. An extra 30% on that is 900 damage. 9,000 damage. I'm sorry, bad at math there for a moment. That's a lot of damage, right? Going from 30 to 40k, and maybe one day I would like to see myself using those, just not yet. And then for the defense masteries here, I have block proficiency maxed, 1 point bringing me all the way up to the energy resistance here, and physical resistance here. I still run 3 in energy resistance. I think that I might even consider running 4 out of 4. I just feel like a lot of times you're blocking energy damage more than you are blocking physical damage. You tend to parry physical damage, and even most physical hits that you have to block, you can parry them too. And or dodge them. So like examples of ones where you have to parry are like Falcon Special 1, you have to hold block on that, or Winter Soldier Special 2, you have to hold block on that, and those are physical damage, but you can parry the initial hit, which is a lot harder to do against lasers, I find. But that's just my point spread up. I haven't done any kind of math or anything to justify or prove that. I have 3 points here in recovery just because I do run willpower, and this boosts willpower. 1 point in willpower to kind of reduce the amount of damage I'm taking from suicides, and 1 point in coagulate because I love my Omega Red. And that tops him off to the 100%. I have 3 points in parry, 1 because of the increased stun timer, and 2 because of the reduced damage you take. 3 points in stupefy here because this really lets you get heavies in. It lets you get sometimes like a combo and then a hit in. Sometimes it lets you chain 2 combos depending on the champion, and even against things like Limber, this is really helpful. And most importantly, in Alliance War, this is what lets you parry and then get a heavy in at all. I have 5 points here in Limber. This is strictly an Alliance War node. On my defenders, like I don't really notice this so much when I'm attacking because it hurts anyways, and I just feel like the numbers don't add up the way it does when I'm attacking. I don't feel the Limber as much as I feel it when I'm in an Alliance War, but hey, I'm too lazy to go and fact check all of Kabam's math as far as when you're attacking, but that Limber is really good for when other people are going up against my defenders. Especially when your defenders are frustrating and you want to time out in some way, shape, or form. So that's really good. 1 point in dexterity because why would you have anything else? I run 3 points in pacify, mostly just for the magic matchup. In Alliance Quest, there is a pretty consistent source of magic in there, and this lets me take that path and not have to worry about limbo. Plus, there are a lot of other matchups where, doing your parry 3-hit combos is very convenient, and you don't have to worry about triggering abilities. and 2 points in Petrify here. Not so much for the regeneration, which is convenient, but also mostly for the power gain portion. It just kind of helps tip the scales in my favor. Now, if it were up to me, I would take these 5 points here, and I would shift them over to like 3 in Despair, and probably 4 Deep Wounds maybe, if I took like the 2 points here from Glass Cannon, but I'm not there yet with the units. That said, that is my Masteries to date. It took a little bit longer than I thought it would. It always does, but I'll talk to you later.